Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. I'm very happy to have you here, guys. As you can see, today I want to share my thoughts on a fragrance from Lattafa called Musamam White Intense. I have a decant of the fragrance here. I want to let you know how it smells like, how it develops, how it performs, if it reminds me of other fragrances, and what I overall think about the fragrance, if it's worth it, if it's not worth it, to me, of course. Now, before I start, if you have tried this fragrance, please share your thoughts on the fragrance in the comment section. I'm sure people who are watching this video interested in purchasing this fragrance could really use your feedback as well. Doesn't matter if you love it, if you hate it, as long as you keep it respectful, please share your thoughts in the comment section. So yes, you guys, now without further ado, let's begin. I've already tried this fragrance on my skin a few times. For today's video, I will actually spray this fragrance on skin. Okay, so it's interesting. A lot of things are happening in the first 10 minutes from the moment you spray this fragrance on your skin. I think this fragrance goes through a lot of turbulence, let's say, until it settles down a little bit. So in the opening, to me, I detect right from the start citrusy, slightly sweet, slightly sour, cold and slightly refreshing citruses. I'm not sure if it has listed citruses, but don't worry because the citrusy blast will only last for around 2 to 3 minutes, and after that it will move into the background and the other notes will shine. And to me, the notes that shine, especially in the opening, is the creaminess. To me, this smells like creamy yellow florals, or like creamy florals with a little bit of like a creamy fruity accord. Yeah, in the opening it smells creamy and yellow, and even now as I smelled it, like as I kept moving my hand up to my nose, I can already sense it changing. Right now, that cold citrusy blast has toned down. Now I get more of the sweet creamy florals, and with something that smells like almost like a creamy tropical fruity facet in the background. Now I'm not sure if it has listed any fruity facets, but to me I detect something, imagine like an abstract yellow fruity accord that's slightly creamy, but I get it more in the opening, like a smoothie type of, or like a puree, like a fruit puree type of accord, you know, and with slight woody facets in the background. Now to me, if you are planning to test this fragrance, please give it time. Don't smell it right from the second you apply it on your skin, because to me this fragrance needs like a minute or 2 or 3 to get a chance to settle onto your skin, because the opening of the fragrance can feel a little bit more, I don't want to say harsh, but it can feel like out of place in a sense, because you get all these different things, but it ends up smelling like none, let's just say 20 minutes in, you know? Yeah, now as I'm letting this fragrance sit on my skin, I get the beautiful, slightly sweet, slightly creamy, yellow fruity feel in the background, with some like creamy florals, but the fragrance overall feels extremely creamy, and the more it will stay on your skin, the creamier it gets. You have here coconut and sandalwood that to me give almost like a delicate, creamy, subtle, almost lactonic facet to the fragrance without fully smelling lactonic, like, I don't know, like condensed milk or anything. But I remember the first few times I was trying out this fragrance, this creamy lactonic to me, I don't want to say that it smelled like Idle for Sun, because it didn't really go to that level in a sense, but it definitely made me think of the accord Lattafa used in Idle for Sun as well. But here, like I said, it stops somewhere, and then the florals come in and a few other notes shine as well, so it doesn't really go to that level of creaminess in a sense, you know. And let's just say 5 minutes in, I start to detect certain soft, airy, breezy florals. Think of like an abstract white floral bouquet, you know. It's not, oh, it's definitely not indolic by any means. It's not green either, but it feels very airy, it feels very breezy, slightly sunny, you know, but overall it just adds a slight breeziness to the fragrance, and again, a little bit of a complexity. And you have all these nuances happening on a slight, soft, dry, woody base. I do detect a slight woody hint. It will stay all throughout the development of the fragrance, but to my nose, it never gets to overpower the other notes. To me, the creaminess is the accord that shines the most, with that subtle muted sweetness there, with those slight muted florals in the background that add a touch of something breezy almost, you know, but you still have that woody accord that gives a lot of support to the other notes without overshining them, like I've mentioned. And it's interesting, you guys, because as I'm smelling it now, the way it smelled in the opening, right now it smells completely different. You know how I said that in the opening I get something that to me smells like let's just say in like the first few seconds, like cold, refreshing, sweet and sour citruses. They have completely moved away. So if you're not a fan of citruses, don't worry, the citrusy kick doesn't last for too long to me. And also, you know how I said those like creamy yellow florals? I don't detect any creamy yellow florals. Now to me the creaminess is a little bit different. It's more, you know what it smells like? It smells like creamy coconut, like coconut milk, something like this, but slightly more lactonic because of the sandalwood. However, bear in mind it's very subtle, the coconutty hint. It's more the texture that's very creamy and milky almost, you know, with those airy florals. And now I get a beautiful peachy-like facet. I'm not sure if they have used a peach accord here, or perhaps they have used osmanthus or something like this, but I get a beautiful, delicate, feminine, a very playful peachy facet to the fragrance that adds a slight brightness as well. Again, adds a slight fruity hint, that slight subtle peachy like sweetness to the fragrance. The sweetness of this fragrance, even though it is present, like it's definitely sweet, but it doesn't overpower the fragrance in a sense. It's definitely not a gourmand fragrance. And also, you guys, it's something very interesting. 10 minutes in, out of nowhere, you guys, you get this almost like a twist to the fragrance, a very unexpected twist. Some will love it, some will hate it, some will get it, some might not get it, but I get something that smells slightly like fresh and marine, but like a marine, like a deep marine type of freshness. And when I looked at the notes of this fragrance, I'm guessing that comes from the ambergris they used here. Now look, 10 minutes in, that ambergris shines a little bit more than the majority of people would prefer it to shine, I feel like. But don't worry, because right as it shines the most, it reaches its peak, I feel like, at 10 minutes. After that, it slowly moves into the background and you will get only hints of that deep marine freshness. It's not the type of accord that will stay all throughout the development of the fragrance, or it's not the type of accord that, let's just say, is the first thing that I smell when I smell this fragrance, you know. But again, it adds a very interesting touch to the fragrance, more like a twist, like I've mentioned to you guys, a very unexpected twist, because right when I was smelling this fragrance and it was creamy, coconutty, slightly lactonic from the sandalwood, with the softest, shyest, woody, dry woody hint in the background, and in a sense it almost became predictable. Not in a bad way, there's nothing wrong with that, you know, I do enjoy that whole scent combination. That's when I started to detect out of nowhere this accord. And now for the first few times I was like, is this something in my mind? Like, have I smelled the masculine fragrance prior? But then no, the more I tested it, the more I detect this accord. So bear in mind, it's not just sweet, it's not just creamy, not just coconutty, with a slight lactonic facet and with peach. By the way, the peach facet here, it's a very pronounced. Again, I'm not sure if they have listed a peach accord. But it smells very peachy, creamy, peachy, coconutty, sandalwood, you know, this type of effect, with that unexpected twist of that fresh, like fresh marine aura to it. But what I feel like it adds, this like marine accord, it makes a lot of room to play with this fragrance in different layering combos. Again, you could use like coconut forward, think coconut passion from Victoria's Secret, like coconutty vanillic fragrance, not fragrance, body lotion to layer with this fragrance, so you would amplify the sweet, creamy, delicate facet of the fragrance. You could use something peachy forward to amplify the slight fruity facet that this fragrance has, or you could layer it with something, I feel like, think something with oak moss, perhaps amber rhythm from Afnan, or Anabiad Rouge from Lattafa. I don't know why, but I have a feeling this will mix very well with Anabiad Rouge from Lattafa, because I'm telling you, even though it does have a deep freshness that definitely feels marine, so slightly salty in a way, but it feels at the same time molecular, and the overall fragrance feels very round, very full-bodied, very dense, subtle and muted in a sense. I don't feel like this is the kind of fragrance that screams, that shouts, you know. In a way, I feel like all the notes are more on the muted spectrum, but they are present, you guys, they are present. And I remember when I sprayed the fragrance on paper and I left the paper on my desk, I was doing a few things besides smelling fragrances, and whenever I went to my desk and I was grabbing something or like checking something on the computer, I kept getting whiffs of this fragrance. So even though this is on, like, each note is on the muted spectrum, it's not overly loud in a sense, but the overall fragrance, I do feel like it's a fragrance that performs very well. So I don't think the performance of this fragrance is disappointing by any means. Yeah, it's interesting. See, now I get that, and I don't know why when I smell this fragrance, in my mind I have this idea that this will layer amazing with fragrances inspired by Baccarat Rouge. If you have any oils inspired by Baccarat Rouge, if you because you could play if you were to layer it. I'm thinking of a lot of things, and then my mind thinks faster than my mouth speaks, even though some people told me, I received a comment, someone said that they have never met a person who speaks faster in their life. I don't know, do I speak so fast? I don't know. But what I wanted to say is that because that accord leans slightly more on the molecular, modern side, it will layer very well with that slight saffrony oak mossy touch that you have in Baccarat Rouge, in inspirations, like oil inspirations, that you have in Anabiet Rouge, in Violet Bouquet, you know. So this is the kind of fragrance that you could layer it with lots of different fragrances. You could use it as a topper. I would use this fragrance as a topper. I would layer it with other deeper fragrances if I were to wear it. Or of course, if you don't like that freshness, that slight molecular freshness that this fragrance has, layer it with a peachy forward, either body lotion, body butter, or even with another fruity scented body product, like with mango, with something with passion fruit, even with sweet citruses, something that in that direction, or with something vanillic, or with something coconutty, like tonic, milky, you know. I'm guessing this would layer very well with Caille d'Alforsan from Lattafa, so in case you have both of those fragrances. Yeah, it's beautiful, and as the fragrance, now when I smell it, the fragrance has reached its balanced stage, let's say. Now that fresh marine accord doesn't overshine the other notes, they're very balanced. It just adds a very like funky and creative twist to the fragrance to me, but it's the creaminess that shines, that slight coconutty, warm, sandalwood-like combo. Another combo that I feel like it would work amazing with Musamam White Intense is with Soir El Dahab from Bet El Bahor. If you have that fragrance, that is like a creamy, lotiony, ripe mandarin orange forward scent. This is what I wanted to say. You also have a slight coconutty touch there with a little bit of almond. They would pair amazing. So if you have Musamam White Intense, if you have Soir El Dahab, try that layering combo, especially if you would like to tone down that molecular fresh accord that you have here. I think they would work amazing. Yeah, overall I think it's a beautiful fragrance. It's a very versatile fragrance. Keep in mind that fresh facet that I told you, because I feel like a lot of people will be surprised by it. Definitely test it first. Even though the creamy part, the slight coconutty facet with that sandalwood, the beautiful done sandalwood here, and with that peachy like creaminess, even though those notes are not challenging, you also have that accord that I'm telling you, some people might struggle with it. But yeah, I hope to enjoy my layering combos. I hope to enjoy my review. To me, this could be an all-year-round fragrance. Spring, summer, autumn, winter, daytime. Usually this one on its own daytime. If I were to wear it during the night, I would layer it. Like I've said, all the fragrances that I've mentioned in the video so far would work amazing with this fragrance. I do find it a versatile fragrance. I do find it that easy reach, feminine, dainty fragrance. But keep in mind, it has an unexpected twist. But I actually learned to appreciate this facet in the fragrance because it stands out, or it stops being predictable in a sense. It adds something else to the fragrance, you know, a slight creative touch to the fragrance. And I have to say, I don't mind this aspect. Thank you for watching, you guys. Don't forget to let me know what you feel about the fragrance if you've tried it. Follow me on Instagram. If you want to tell me anything, please put it in the comment section and I promise that I will get back to you. But yes, I will see you in my next video. But until then, thank you so much for watching and I want to wish you an amazing day wherever you are. Bye guys.